Hey, welcome back to another video of just planning, getting life together, determining what I want to read, but also what I need to read. If you're new here, my name is Emma. It's so nice to have you here. I'm going back to uni in September, which is this month. Hi. Yeah, so we have a lot to get ready. It's going to be a very busy month, but I also want to not only, of course, prioritize the readings for uni, but I have a couple book clubs as usual. I don't think I'm going to be doing like any readathons or anything crazy like that because I really want to focus on school, but also reading stuff on the side that I love and that I want to read too. I mean, I love reading anything, but you know what I mean. Let's get a planner. Let's get a reading journal thing. I kind of want to make a little cute spread this time. And then we're going to go through my shelves. We're going to go through some syllabi, and see what's up. All right, so for September, I will of course be reading for the Dark Academics Book Club again. This time, the book pick was Carolyn's, and she picked Maurice by E.M. Forster, which I've started. I'm really enjoying. This is about a young man who goes to Cambridge for school, and there he has to deal with some feelings for another boy. They both do, and it's about their relationship, but also Maurice growing into society. So really excited for this one. This is my first Forster as well, so if you'd like to join, please feel free. Also for the Dickens versus Tolstoy book pick for September and October, we're going to be reading Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. This is a pick that I know nothing about, but I'll be defending Dickens. I'll be arguing in favor of the book this time, so I'm really, really excited for that. I believe it follows Nicholas, and he's going throughout his life. He's penniless after his father dies, and it just allows Dickens to examine a bunch of areas of society, like he usually does with all of his humor, comedy, and imagination. Alright, so after getting my school picks out of the way, which was good, and I was really happy to already have some on my shelves, I wrote down what I'm currently reading, and for this whole video, I think, pretty much for the whole thing, I keep calling it Tokyo Ever After, because I just tried to read the book Tokyo Ever After, but the actual book I'm talking about in this video is From Little Tokyo with Love. So yeah, just thought I should say that. Got my Tokyos mixed up, so... So for books that I want to read, like physically, just outside of school, if I have time, I wanted to at least pick a couple off of my shelves that can, you know, respectfully slide into spooky season. So that's kind of what I want to do, but I also want to read books that like I just really want to get to. I've been having so much good luck with the ones that I've been picking out of my shelves. They're ones that I've had my eye on for a while. They've been mostly literary fiction, like Untold Night and Day and the Iliac Crest, which I'm almost done, which is in this video. So we're gonna go through them. We're gonna go through every single shelf and pick out the ones that I really want to read and get to because yeah, I've just been loving reading recently. So, and then we'll pick some audiobooks as well that I can listen to on my way to school, doing chores, blah blah blah. So yeah. Alright, so these are the books that immediately jumped out at me that I was like, yes, I want to read all of these right now. So maybe you guys can help me and like vote which ones in the comment section, but I'll just take you through them. And as well, like I'm still trying to do my around the world challenge, so I'm kind of thinking like which one of these would go towards that for different countries that I haven't read from yet this year. So first up we have Zafloya, or The Moor. This was given to me for my birthday by Mary, from Mary Among Stories. Thank you. I just really want to read this so badly. This is perfect for sliding into October. It's a tale of lust, betrayal, and multiple murders set in Venice in the last days of the 15th century, and we follow the protagonist Victoria, who becomes like she has Satan as her mentor eventually, or something like that. So it sounds very gothic, very spooky, very creepy, and I just really want to get into this one. So that is option number 1. This book just jumps out at me every time, but like I never know if I'm actually ready for it. This is the posthumous memoirs of Bras Cubas. I've already read some Machado this year. I read The Alienist and other short stories, which I loved. So I know I'm gonna 100% love this. Like I know I will. It's just a matter of me actually like being ready to read it. And I speak about this book, I feel like, a lot, although I haven't read it. So I think that says something already. This one is definitely a big contender. This is about a disagreeable aristocrat. He's dead, but he's writing his memoir about his life from his death, like he's dead. So I bought this collection of Borges a while ago, but this is something that like I don't want to read the whole thing all at once, but the problem is I don't really know where to start with Borges. I don't know if it matters where I start, but yeah, I think maybe I would love to read at least one of his works in here, or a few of them this month, because this is also an author I think I'm just gonna fall in love with. It sounds like everything I want to read about. So in collected fictions or ficciones, please, if you know any good place to start from Borges, let me know. So that is another one. This next book is from Sudan, which is also a country I haven't read from, and this is Season of Migration to the North. You guys also hear me talking about this one in I think pretty much the last 2 or 3 planning videos, but I really do want to get to this one. It's also very nice to me that like it's kind of large print, which is good for my eyes. But yeah, I don't know too much about what this is about. It's called An Arabian Nights in Reverse on the back, so I don't know, it just sounds so intriguing to me, and I feel like I would either I just love to explore this book. So that is Season of Migration to the North. This one I also got for my birthday. This one is from Kira, but this is Tender is the Flesh. This one sounds so good. This one could potentially even be like maybe a contender for my choice for the next Dark Academics book pick. I don't know. This is by Agustina Bazterrica. This is from Argentina. And it just sounds like so much commentary that I want so badly. It's set in a dystopian world in which humans are being processed for food and society is divided into predators and prey. So much commentary on eating animals, eating in general, and I'm so ready for this. I'm like so ready for this. There's so many good books on my shelf right now, I just can't. This one is from Hungary. This is Satan Tango by Laszlo Krasno-Orkai. This is another one I really want to read. When I talked about this in the last video I talked about it in, so many people were like, you have to read that, like it's so good. So I really want to get to this one as well. It seems quite dark. It's just kind of like, what do I want to read and what do I want to be able to devote my time to alongside my uni studies. The last one here is also quite dark, and that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is set between 2000 and 2017. In 2017, it's all about the Me Too movement, but we follow a girl named Vanessa between those 2 timelines. In 2000, it says 15-year-old Vanessa becomes entangled in an affair with her magnetic 42-year-old English teacher, and in 2017, she has to reckon with this among a bunch of other women who come forward. I've heard so much about this book. I don't know if I'm ready for it either. I don't know which one. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was 7 options. I think we're gonna eliminate Zafloya because this screams more like spooky season October vibes to me, so we're gonna get rid of this one. Maybe not Satan Tango right now. Maybe I'm not ready for Satan Tango. I gotta let that one marinate more. These 5 is between the posthumous memoirs, Tender is the Flesh, Season of Migration to the North, My Dark Vanessa, and Borges. So please vote. Which one? Which one should it be? I'll leave these out, and whenever I finish the Iliac Crest, It's gonna be one of these guys I pick up, so. Okay, so I also have 2 books I'm currently in the middle of, which I wrote down. So the first one is The Iliac Crest by Cristina Rivera Garza. Oh, wow. I am very close to finishing this one, as you can see. New favorite book, hands down. Whole video coming about this. Life-changing, fantastic. Please pick this up. I've never heard anyone talk about this, and so much of this book is about like disappearance, both actual disappearance and like things in the past, women's writing, marginalized women's writing that disappears on its own because people don't read it. Like there's just so much in this book. I cannot tell you. I am 96 pages through and I'm almost done, but I never want this book to be over. Anyway, I don't really think I said what this is about, but there's a man living in a house and 2 women knock on his door on a very dark and stormy night. One of them is an ex-girlfriend or lover, and another one is a complete stranger who also declares that she is a famous Mexican writer. And they both try to convince him that he is actually a woman. Need I say more? Fantastic. Audiobook I also currently have on the go that I wrote down is Tokyo Ever After by Sarah Kuhn. This one is so sweet. This is a young adult kind of like, I want to call it like adventure romance. We're following Rika and she's living in Little Tokyo in LA, and it's basically about her like growing up and coming to terms with who she is, where she lives, her family. She's also on a search for her mother, who may or may not be Asian America's famous superstar, movie star. And along the way she runs into Hank Chen, who's like a famous dancer, actor guy, and it's just really sweet. I'm loving it so much. So definitely gonna be finishing those 2 that I mentioned. Another audiobook that I'm gonna write down right now is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I've had this book on my shelves for a really long time, but I've never gotten around to it, and my audiobook hold just came in for this, and it sounds like a nice, cool book to read in September. Anything with coffee in the title, I am there. So I'm gonna write it down, but if you've never heard of it, Before the Coffee Gets Cold is about this coffee shop where you can have a cup of coffee with the added bonus that it transports you back to the past. But you only have a limited amount of time there and you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. Otherwise, there will be consequences. You will suffer the consequences of your actions. So I've heard some mixed reviews on this so far, so I just thought I would pick up the audiobook. It sounds like it would be a really good performance, very heartbreaking and moving and stuff like that. So, you know, different people go back into the past for different reasons. So I just wrote that one down too. Recently for audiobooks, I've been craving fantasy because it's been a while since I've read any. So I currently have 2 in. I don't know if I'm gonna read these or not, but we have in Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, which actually a lot of people have told me I would hate, so I don't know if we're gonna read it. Maybe I'll just give it a try for a little bit, see how it goes. And I also have in Girl, Serpent, Thorn. I don't know too much about what Girl, Serpent, Thorn is about. I think this is a newer release, but I do kind of want just a little bit of an easier, fun fantasy book alongside uni and all this stuff. And I want some like sweeter ones as well to just like balance out studying and stuff like that, just so I can have a break, some escapism. So we're gonna see what else is available, or what else do I even have on hold right now. I actually kind of have a lot of dense and serious books on hold. This might have been a mistake. Wink wonk. Bro, who did this? I did this. It was me. I found a bunch of Pokemon stickers that I've been saving since I was young, so I thought I would just spice up my little journal spread with some Pokemon. Because what else am I going to use them for? Maybe we want Raichu. This definitely is not a bullet journaling channel. You don't come here for the journal content. We have the book clubs, the Dark Academics, as well as Dickens versus Tolstoy. We also have the uni readings for this month. There's more than this, but this is like the concrete stuff I can put on Goodreads. Yeah, there's always more reading than that, but those are like the big long pieces. And then these are the books I'm currently reading, as well as books that I just want to read. We're gonna probably add some more, but maybe we can put something else here too. I thought I would very quickly take you guys over the final picks for September. First up, we have Maurice by E.M. Forster. This is for the Dark Academics. The live show for this will be at the end of September, so I really need to get a crack on, although I've been reading the amount of pages a day just so I can finish it right at the end of the month, so it shouldn't be too bad at all. So that is the first one. I'm really liking this so far. I'll also be reading Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens for the Dickens versus Tolstoy book club. I'm really excited to finally have another Dickens, just because like the Tolstoy books have been taking 2 months each, so it feels like a long time until we get to read Dickens again. But I will once again be defending Dickens this time, so I will get to absolutely just try to put all of my love into this book and try and extract all the goodness out of it and give it to you and make you vote for Dickens. Will Dickens ever win? I think so. I think he will. But yeah, I have no idea whatsoever what this book is about. Want to keep it that way. My copy has not arrived yet, but I hope it does soon because I need to start it September 1st, which, oh my gosh, that's tomorrow. Then for concrete uni readings, I'm going to be reading Utopia by Thomas More, which is in this anthology, so it's in here. I believe the text is really small, so I might pick up a copy from my library or something like that. But essentially Utopia is Thomas More's depiction of like the perfect society, or a society where lots of things work better than England, I guess, but there's also a lot of problems in Utopia as well that we'll talk about. So, you know, I know a little bit about this. It'll be nice to read through it, have a refresher. So that is Utopia. Is there anything else I want to say about this? No. I'll talk more about it in my uni vlogs and study vlogs and stuff with you guys. So that is the very first work though at uni I think we're going to be reading is Utopia. Also for uni this month I'm going to be reading Beowulf. Not this translation, a different translation, but that's okay. I have that translation as well. So Beowulf is an epic poem. It's the most important, apparently, Old English poem, and perhaps the single most significant survival from the Anglo-Saxon period. The action takes place on the North Sea coast of the 5th and 6th centuries, the world from which the ancestors of its audience had come to England. So we are following Beowulf, who is the name of the warrior. He goes over, he crosses the sea, and he makes it to this other kingdom, this other place, this other palace, whatever you'd like to call it, this other dominion. And this dominion is basically, it's ruled over by a man named Hrothgar, but in reality it's ruled over by a monster called Grendel, who comes almost every night to Hrothgar's domain, his hall, and he absolutely rips apart Hrothgar's men and his soldiers and the warriors and everything like that. And Beowulf thinks that he can stop this monster. Grendel is by far the most interesting thing to me about Beowulf, and there's a dragon and stuff in it, but like the parts with Grendel, so interesting. And just talking about monsters and stuff, which I know is explicitly what we're going to be talking about in class, monstrosity as well. So just so interested to pick this back up and get more into Grendel as well. Oh, I should have put Grendel by John Gardner on this list. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll go back and add that. Stay tuned in reading vlogs. And finally, we're also going to be reading King Lear in September. So yes, just bleakness, grayness everywhere. Should be a good time, but I'm not going to talk too much about this now. Just another Shakespeare play, perhaps one of his darkest ever, probably his darkest ever, I want to say, but that is King Lear. For the books I'm currently reading that I'll definitely be finishing in September, we have Tokyo Ever After by Sarah Kuhn, which I already talked about. Just really loving this, so wholesome, so sweet. It's just such a fun adventure that like I'm really enjoying and delighting in. It is such like an ode to Little Tokyo, and to also like not knowing where you stand in life, and so it's just about them coming to terms with who they are, finding out who they are, and just it's such a loving story. I'm loving it so much. So that is from Little Tokyo with love. Yes, I really hope I can finish the Iliad Crest. I think I'll finish this before school starts just so I can like get this done, because I cannot think of absolutely anything else right now except for this fantastic book. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's about a lot of different things. I was talking about disappearance. The author has also lived most of her life along the US-Mexican border. It's also about a lot of femicides that occur along that border, and it's also about borders and boundaries and life and death, woman and man. It's about gender. It's about so many different things. I think this book is just absolutely fantastic. It's also making me want to read so much from that famous Mexican writer, Davila, because she is a character in here, or perhaps many characters. So anyway, I'm not going to say too much about it. Definitely going to have a whole video about this, but if you have not heard of this, if you have not picked it up, if you would like a challenge, if you would like a masterpiece in your hands, I just highly recommend this. Like, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. That's it. That's all I can say. For an audiobook, like I was talking about, I'm going to be picking up Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I think this will just be a nice little book to settle into as the weather gets colder outside. Hopefully, I hope it gets colder. So yeah, I don't really have too many expectations about this. I bought this a while ago, honestly, but it has such a nice cover. So yeah, we'll see what this is all about. Like I said, I did have that big pile of books. These two were on it that I wanted you guys to vote on. As of right now, I've written down both of these, but like honestly, I might shuffle them around. It just depends like when I finish a book, what mood I am to start the next one. But I really do want to read Season of Migration to the North because I keep like trying to add it on to TBRs, and then by the end of the month, it just so happens that I've not yet picked it up. So really do want to try and get to this one as well as this one, because I feel like these are the two books I keep talking about and saying like I want to read that, and then for some reason I never do. So those are here, but like I said, please vote on that pile just so I have some feedback. So yes, very excited. I also decided to put on Girl, Serpent, Thorn as another fun audiobook just to enjoy and hopefully get some fantasy back in my life. Like I said, I have no idea what this is about. I think there's some romance in here. I really hope there's some romance in here because I really like a little bit of fantasy romance added in. So that is Girl, Serpent, Thorn. Please let me know if you've read it, what you think, or if you think I would like it. And then finally, I also just downloaded Pan's Labyrinth. I've never seen the movie, so maybe I should do that first, or maybe I should read the book first. Well, it's an audiobook, but I'm really excited for this. Once again, I have no idea what to expect, but I just think it's going to be something I'm really going to love. So I just decided to smack on Pan's Labyrinth on here as well. So that is the big September TBR. So busy, but it's going to be packed with so much fun. And I hope it's just like a month of exploding literature because I'm just getting so excited for school. And I cannot wait to study everything and just like get into words, become a word, become literature. And it's just making me really happy. So a little ambitious, but I think we can do it. So that is this month's TBR. I hope you enjoyed this little planning session and my very professional journal spread. As usual, I'll have this reading journal linked down below. This is from Stella Bookish Art on Etsy if you'd like to check her out. And yeah, that is the one I've been using. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your TBR is, as always. If you're going to be participating in the DA or in the DBT, the Dickens versus Tolstoy. I don't really like DBT. It sounds like some weird vein problem or something. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. If you're going back to school, I'd love to know what you're studying, or if you're just doing something new this September, if you're doing something old. I just love to hear what you guys are doing. It's so interesting to me. So thank you so much for watching. So much love to you. I'm gonna go finish Iliac Crest and have my perception of everything in my own life destroyed. So good afternoon coming up. But yes, I'll see you very soon. So